Weekly Dama. I'm your host, Kendertainment MJ. Glad to see you all here, and we'll be diving into what's been happening within the week of kendama. What's kendama? Ball and cup. Not a yo-yo. Kendama, ken meaning, I guess could be translated as sword. But the interesting thing about that is, once you do a little studying of Japanese and you learn some of the kanji and whatnot, you see that ken in kendama, there's three parts to the lettering, right? Excuse me. Ke, all right. The most recent place that we see ke is over at GT, right? Weens took the hiragana ke and turned it into a GT logo by adding one little extra dash on there, a line. And then there's and then Dama, which is tama meaning ball. Tama means ball. That one is in kanji, right? Tama is in kanji, but ken is not in kanji. So there is actually a kanji for ken if we're talking about a sword, right? But here it's not being used. So yeah, some people can say sword and ball, but personally, I don't know. I guess you could call it something that you hold in your hand, but I think it's a different kind of style of sword. That's why they don't use the kanji for sword as ken in Dama. Shinfo, maybe not, because we're all Dama nerds here, so maybe that is information that you appreciated. We'll be talking about what's been happening in the past week of kendama. And oh man, there's been a lot that's been going on. I'm sure a lot of people have been noticing this past weekend. Maybe you joined a stream, the legendary now Sweets Twitch stream, who has been going around hosting so many awesome events all around. And yes, they went over to Europe to show us, to connect everyone around the world to the European Kendama Championship. The EKC went down. Theodore Fiorina, congratulations. It was a magnificent, now looking back on, could be seen as historical legendary event that was put together by Tio. And there's a specific reason why, it became so popular. And I think that all is up to, that cha-ching in the what do we say? How we do in the US? Money? Yeah, I almost forgot. In Japan, you go like this. This is money. Okay? Amazing. Money, high receipts, that's what that means. I was trying to figure out the tune in my brain right now. The high receipts were a massive part of the EKC popping off as hard as it did. But that's all thanks to, again, Tio for inviting them and having them join, because if they weren't there, outcome, the hype would still be, pretty awesome. I'm sure everyone would still have a good time. But the outcome, completely different. Why? Because high receipts swept the nation, maybe. They went in and they took over. They destroyed. And thankfully, going back to it, Sweets was there. Matt Sweets Jorgensen, Cody Griswold was there, and they put a beautiful stream together so we could all appreciate it. And I was really excited for that because I was able to be a part of that live stream in some ways or another. Luckily here in Japan, I think it started around like 6 p.m. and it went on until like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. And yes, again, luckily it was on the weekend, so I didn't have to really get up so early. So I was in it until the end and was so excited to be able to witness that stuff live. It was live, not in person live, but at least I was able to witness it live because, oh man, it was a sight to be seen. So straight into that, I didn't even pull up my saved posts that I grabbed, but yeah, EKC, it's going down in history as a legendary event. So awesome for everyone who was there, who joined, and especially massive hats off to all the competitors, everyone who took part, everyone who went in, and not to just enjoy yourselves, but thinking about it, going deep. You're supporting kendama, you're supporting Tio, you're supporting this event that's happening. And that's one of the massive things. A lot of people, we had the chance, an opportunity to do that with an awesome like fundraising raffle style of thing that they did, that Tio put together. And last year, it was a different style, like getting tickets to watch this premiere kind of special GT EU version of video. And this year's a little different, but still, if you were in Europe, or maybe you even traveled. There was a few homies who traveled from different countries over to Europe, and special hats off to that, because that's an extra amount of, funds you need just for traveling and getting your ass over there. We're talking about like overseas traveling. Of course, there's still a lot of work that goes into other people from within Europe traveling, because it's still, it takes a lot. It takes money, it takes energy, it takes time. But in the end, I'm sure everyone who makes that trek, that journey over to, in this case, EKC and whatever event, you're going to leave with a lot of energy, happy smiles, great memories. And again, this EKC, oh my gosh, ridiculousness, pure yoga fire. So hats off to everyone who took part. You're supporting a great cause. We're going to be going and talking about supporting other causes, amazing causes. This is the support the cause, support the movement episode of Weekly Dama News. But to go to it, to be news-ish, we're going to say, open freestyle. They had beginners, they had intermediate, they had advanced, they had open for the pros and anyone who wanted to challenge themselves on that level. And a lot of even the pros were saying like, man, these tricks are pretty difficult. But still, when it comes down to it, the pros lay it out. All right. And here we have Nobunori coming in first place, Kendama USA. Second place, Alex Mitchell over at Seoul. And then Yasu, Young Yas, coming in at third for open. Amazing thing to see that Yasu, we know of, all the videos out right now. Lotus put a bunch of amazing videos up on their channel on YouTube, so go to the YouTube channel. Yeah, I know we're all like just surfing Instagram right now, but the YouTube channel that Lotus has been creating a lot of cool stuff, like long videos and stuff, and luckily they were able to be there in front stage for the EKC and caught, I think, maybe all of the freestyles. I'm not sure how much they got, maybe like just the final 16. So go to the Lotus YouTube channel, subscribe, all that jazz, and watch it unfold. Yasu, Alex Mitchell, Nobunori, amazing. Nobu was even mentioning, I think he made a post about it, and he was saying like, he's just so surprised. He was not expecting this outcome. He did not think he was going to be winning. He didn't think he was going to be going as far as to take this competition. And it happened. And that's almost like one of the I feel like, a great way to have that happen, just because he was probably like stress less. Like he had no stress whatsoever, I'm guessing, going into it, right? Thinking about it as well, I'm not sure actually if Nobu has ever been overseas, but he's in Europe for kendama with the homies, with his gang, right? So tension, like he must just be so excited. Bouncing off the wall, all four of these dudes. And if you look at it, it kind of goes, and it shows, because they went off. They went off. Usually they do go off, all right? This is something that happens. They're always like that. The only thing is that people outside of Japan don't see it. But these dudes are always like that. They're always slaying. They're always on point with their tricks. They're always on point with their fashion, their gear. Everything is just, whoever made up the name, which I haven't figured out. I've never asked them specifically, but whoever made that name fits perfectly. That's why they're the high receipts. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Okay? Let me get another sip of coffee. Oh, and for everyone who's here, hey, just to let you know, hey, if you're going to be hanging out for the rest of this live stream, or even not, because I repost these up as a podcast and over on the YouTube channel, I always do Q&A, little question and answer time at the end of it. So please use this question tool down here and ask me a question. At the end of all of this, I will be answering all the questions that are in there. So now's a chance to get a question in. But amazing. So I'm going all over the place because it was such an eventful weekend, a huge notch in the space of kendama, the world of kendama, to see this happen. And I'm just so happy that people were able to see it. I'm happy that people were, of course, not only able to see it live on Sweets' Twitch stream, but to have people in Europe see it in person, because it is amazing. And for anyone who hasn't seen a pro kendama professional, or someone who is just like super honed all the time, to see it happen in person in front of your eyes, because we all see the videos, they go out and stuff, like, you know, like, oh yeah, I put out some dope tricks here every once in a while, but it takes me a while. Those are grinds, right? Sometimes I get lucky and they're not. But for these guys, for the high receipts, they don't grind that much. That's why they're always stoked and they always got the smiles on. They have time to make sure that their fit is looking good, yeah? So that was one amazing. And then freestyle. Who does it go to? 3 out of the 4 high receipts. You have Kaito coming in 3rd, Soma Fujita coming in 2nd, and then in 1st place, of course, Yasu. Yasu and Soma are both KROM supported players, Yasu being pro, Soma just being one of the Chromies, and then Kaito being in GT. You know, I think we had a Kaito Champ mod, we had a Kaito TC mod. The next step is a Kaito Pro mod. I think it should be happening. There's no extra background information on that, just how I feel personally. Kaito has proven himself that he, I think, deserves a place as being a pro. Let me know in the chat, what do you guys think? But Kaito coming in 3rd. Amazing to see, you know, because you would think, oh, you know, maybe it feels bad for Nobu not being able to take a spot on the podium for freestyle, but hells no, he took 1st in open. So he's probably like, I don't care at all. It's such an amazing thing to see. Again, this EKC is becoming one of the premier events that's happening for kendama, for all of us to travel around the world. A lot of people talk about kendama as being a way to connect with other people, and it's definitely a way that you can go and travel overseas, a reason to go to a place. You know, maybe you never thought about going to Amsterdam or Netherlands, but now, hey, here's possibly a reason, right? Not just going for a vacation because you're gonna go and you're be like, oh, I'm gonna waste or, you know, use a lot of money. Sure, it'll be a fun experience, but I don't know. But if you have this to go to, it's almost like a home away from home. And same in Japan, guys. Kendama World Cup is happening in just a month. Holy shit, is it just a month? And you get out of here. You're at school, you know, stay in school. You know, that's what they say. So EKC is a reason now we can travel over to Europe. You got Kendama World Cup, Catch and Flow in Japan. There's other events. There's so many other events, but of course the big ones that we're gonna be looking at now is Kendama World Cup. You got NACO, and now we have EKC, really solidifying their position in the kendama competition world as like bam, bam, bam. That's the place we're gonna get. Our last continent is, oh no, we got 2 more continents if we want to hit that. We need South America and we need Africa. So waiting, but that would be amazing, amazing. And so with all of that, dudes and dudettes, there was a lot of information that was presented during the EKC. There was so much. I'm not sure if I got everything, but to start it off, one thing that happened was, sound is on, kendama stuff, I don't know. Jesse is a part of the Terra squad. Jesse is someone, yeah. Well, I mean, Australia, we got, oh, I guess, yeah, no, that's not Asia. So we need Australia, yeah. Antarctica, I don't know if we'll be traveling over there. Okay, so Jess is now a part of Terra Kendama. Jess is a player that maybe people don't know. Did you know? I didn't know about Jess. He has not a huge following. He has a good amount of posts that he's posted. Not much information behind Jess, except for a bunch of posts and him using a lot of Terra Kendamas. There's some connections with, maybe he traveled to Canada. Maybe he is living in Canada. There's some shots where he is over at the Terra shop throwing down some tricks and stuff. So congrats. Awesome to see the Terra team growing little by little. And it's really cool, actually. It's really cool to see them like staying very homey-like, you know? Really just connecting. I'm guessing dudes from Canada? Nothing, there's no information. I gotta hit up Rod and ask, yo, what's Jess's background story? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to be sponsored by by a kendama company, right? That's one of the dreams of playing kendama, to get to a point where you don't have to pay for kendamas anymore, because a lot of us spend a lot of money paying for kendama. Sometimes you get them gifted, but hey, if you are a supported pro or just a team member who is sponsored, then you will be getting some damas in for seshing, and that's all we want to do. So cool to see. Congrats, Jess. Another one that I didn't know much about, hand plan kendama. All right. And side note, I always thought it was hand plant kendama, you know, skateboard move, like doing a hand plant. I always thought it was a hand plant kendama, but no, there's no T. It's hand plan kendama. Really cool stuff. I have one of their damas from a while back. Interesting shape. The most interesting part about it would be the base cup. It's really like flat. I think I talked about it on last episode of Weekly Dama News. But hand plan kendama, they have a pro mod that came out, Young F Balance. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but who's Young F Balance? Hand plant kendama's pro, traumatized by string in Hamburg. All right, dude from Germany. Newest edit is up on YouTube. You know, again, another dude who has not a massive following, so maybe not on the radar for kendama. So we're just going to see what can happen, what can grow from these people. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are seeing kendama and playing kendama who have a lot of followers, or that, you know, they're like, man, my buddy over in this club or something, that they slay, they should be sponsored, but they're not. It just goes to show that there's no real formula. There's no tick box check off, you know, to become a sponsored player or a pro for kendama brands. It's all up to the brand, the people who are running the show, to choose their players, to choose their team, and to choose what they do with their team. So in the end, all you have to do is, I feel like, play kendama, enjoy it, spread it, as well as focus in, kind of hone in on a company that you want to be connected with. So you got to rep their stuff. You got to buy their stuff. There's plenty of people, like, you know, I think we're all waiting on GMB, Gucci Moon Boots, to go over to GT. How much that stuff has happened. And we've heard in the past with Adrian, his kind of story of, you know, him getting a lot of GTs, and then one time he got a bag that said, yo, you don't have to buy anymore because you're on the team, you know? So connect, focus in, hone in on one brand that you really enjoy, their branding, what the team is about, what the kendamas are about, what their kind of mission is for their company, and solidify yourself with that. And then you can then continue to rep. And hopefully if you do get picked up, you'll be in a happy place. How'd I get here? Okay, yeah. So it just goes to show, you don't have to be a massive, amazing player with a huge following with a bunch of posts, because here we go. Here's another person who is a pro for Handplan, you know, albeit a smaller brand out there, but hand-turned awesome kendamas. And I'll tell you guys, this paint is reminiscent of Sour Mash paint, but the durability of it is through the roof, as well as like the, I don't know, like the soft, like rubberiness of it, which just stays there, is like, and especially it's getting a little humid out in here now. And this guy's in there. Okay. So yes, awesome to see Young F Balance. as a pro for hand plants. So we got to turn our eyes to see what's happening there. All right. If anyone got questions, please use that question tool and I'll hit them up at the end of the live. Okay, what else we got? Oh my gosh. Going over to YouTube. Was there something else on YouTube I saw? Okay, well, I'll start off with this. Seoul Kendamas, they posted up on their Instagram too. What do they got? Oh man, they got their whole Japan team doing a full news segment all in Japanese. So good for your anyone out there who wants to practice Japanese, who is studying Japanese. Here you go. Just listen. If you don't understand everything, that's totally fine. A part of learning a language is just input. Just learning through listening. As children, as babies, we all just listen and we don't talk for a few years, all right? It's all just getting input. It's just passive listening, learning. And then it turns into something else. So in any case, Seoul Kendamas, it seems like they'll be doing once a week for, what is it called? Seoul Summer Series is back, it says. To tell you the truth, I don't remember the first one. Or maybe it was when they were in their house for the summer. Is that what it was? In this time, our Japanese players are taking over. We'll be releasing a new video every weekend in June, July, and August. 3 months of videos coming out of the Seoul YouTube channel. So go, if you haven't subscribed to Seoul's YouTube channel, this is a great reason to do so. See what it's like, see what kind of information they'll be bringing to everyone. So go check out the first episodes live on YouTube right now. Oh, we will be adding English translations, closed captions soon. So there you go. So you can use it as a listening training system so you can practice your Japanese listening, but subtitles will be coming in soon so you can understand what they're talking about. But pretty much the thing is, at least the first one, I watched it and it was like going through all their team members and they just turned like a spoof off of the news and there was like weather. No one did like the weather for a second, but it's in Japan, so who cares? Like this is going around the world. It's did you guys? Yeah. And then just going off and just talking about different things like events that are happening. Very simple stuff. All right. Are they rivaling weekly Dama news with this? Hey, I don't know, but maybe could we get a collab going? I'd be down. But anyways, that being said, YouTube, Seoul Kendamas, go subscribe, go check it out. Give it a like, leave a comment saying like, I don't understand. All right. So that went down and I feel like, man, so I already covered Lotus, right? Lotus got a bunch of YouTube videos up, all of what's happened within the EKC. So go, you don't have to turn your phone sideways and all that crap. Go to a proper computer, desktop, laptop, if you have one, and go enjoy it on YouTube. I feel like there was something else. In the back of my mind, I felt like I saw something and I watched it on YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, I should talk about this. And because it's not here on Instagram, it's hard to remember those things. You know? Okay, yeah. No. Other announcements that happened within EKC. Bjorn is pro. Bjorn Reese Sorensen. BRS is a Swedes pro. This caught me by surprise. Of course, I knew right away that he was pro on their little teaser post showing like just a fade of the whatever colors that he had chosen for his Tama design and then his Smooch logo mark. Because if you follow Bjorn, you know he's a part of the Smoochies. What are they called? Is it the Smoochies? Boy Smoochies? Yeah, improv comedy group. And I was like, all right, that is so amazing, so awesome. Again, going back to the fact that there is no true route to become a pro, right? Is Bjorn an amazing high-level tech out there thinking like outside of the meta, pushing kendama player? No. Is he? But he's hella good with his, ambidextrousness, right? And he has a style. I don't even know if it's a style, a personality that no one can replicate. This is Bjorn in 100%, and he is from what I've seen, I've never met the dude, but all of his posts and stuff, when you see him talking, you see him doing some like, live emceeing for the freestyle over at NACO. That's Bjorn all the time. And it is really cool to see Sweets acknowledging like another pro player. And I just thought about it right now. Like Sweets has been going off, just knighting. Which, hey, come on, that sounds good. Because, right, or Ken, they are knighting pros one after another. We've had So Canada become pro. We've had Johnny Cress become pro this year. We've had Bryson Lee become pro this year. Hit me. Who's another one? There's more pros than that. I feel like you got Bjorn now. I feel like I'm missing another one, but still, that's a lot of pros to be announced in, I feel like, a kind of a small span of time. And it is really cool, again, to see Sweets taking their team, throwing them over into pro spots. We've seen a lot of the older pros before. What was it, like 2017? There was the 5. And most of them now have become put into the legend team. So they're moving on, and it's a real great kind of like, I don't know, just generation movement that's happening within Sweets and their team. Granted, their team is massive, so it really makes sense to kind of help push people along and get them. Brandon, thank you, Lynch. Brandon was the other one. The hockey Jason ice skating mask. In the chat, we need Lauren and Emily pro mods. Hey, I mean, at least like signature mods. That's something KROM, I really applaud KROM for doing, taking some of their players and adding signature mods like Yui and Yua. They got their signature mods. Another thing, another applaud for GT for doing that too, having the TC, the team collab mods where each player, technically they weren't pro, but why not help them, support them in an extra way financially with some of the percentages going to the pros, as well as have them get like excited about kendama. How many people have been in teams for like a long time and just dropped off because maybe motivation or whatever reason kind of have them fall off? But if you, as a company, kind of give them like a spark of energy by saying like, hey, I'm going to give you, not a pro mod, but hey, pretty much the same thing, that you could get stoked and hyped on it. So another thing, yeah, like how much effort, it's a two-way relationship, yeah. How much they've been posting, how much people have been into it. Now again, as a company, I'm sure these people don't want to be telling them, you got to post, because that's just going to turn into a toxic environment. So if these players who they sponsored don't want to be a part of it anymore, then it's like, all right, like, especially Sweets, they have a gang of people. So whoever is really pushing is going to be moving up in the ranks, I feel like. So that's where, that's where that is. But still, Bjorn is pro. Do you think that was going to happen? I never thought that would happen. I guess I just thought like he would just keep on coasting as just a sponsored player. Awesome dude, sponsored, Sweets team, and just there. But no, he's pro. Now, does that mean he has to put himself when he enters competitions as a pro? Yes, that does. So then that pushes a lot of like extra angst for some people who maybe were like, oh, well, now I'm never going to win a comp. But that's not what it's about, yeah? It's not what it is about. All right? So congrats, Bjorn. Smooches to Bjorn for getting a pro mod. So that was announced over the weekend. Another thing that was announced was, get this? The BIRL. Oh man, did I scream too loud? BIRL. 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 A lot of people have been seeing the posts. It's been flashing around. People have been talking about it. I've been talking about it here in the Dama Dads. If you listen to their podcast, go subscribe. They've been talking about it. And now we finally see what it is about. We get a little more information about BIRL, and it is a project by Brett, put together by Brett Boston, all right? And he is collecting a bunch of players and photographers, videographers is the technical term for it, I think. And making a video that is focusing on these pro players and people who are very creative in kendama, and giving them a place where they can get some support, financial support, by creating a video that is behind a paywall. So you have to buy this video. It will not be on YouTube. It's not going to be anywhere where you can see it. Maybe just flashes here and there, just, you know, with probably like sticky hair and gum and all this other gross stuff coming out of your mouth that shouldn't be in your mouth, and now it's on the street and getting dirty and stuff. It's going to be like that. And you probably, hopefully, you know, some people kind of like that stuff. Hopefully there'll be more of it in the actual video, but that's what it's going to be, an annual. So one video a year. Who knows who's going to be in there? Who knows how long it's going to be? You know, who knows how everything is going to get put together? So I'm going to go and do a little deep diving for everyone, because weekly Dama news, this is what I am. I'm a nerd, all right? As everyone probably knows, you two probably are a nerd about kendama. A lot of people just get magnetized to this thing, and for some, it's scraping the surface, and some, you get that diamond bit drill, and you go as far as you can. So I will be doing some extra research and figuring out more about the BIRL and all these questions that I'm sure a lot of people have about it, and sharing that with everyone, probably over on the Kendertainment YouTube channel. So you should go and subscribe. It's awesome. So BIRL, as well as it seems like on their Instagram, they'll be doing some like giveaways. So hey, make sure to check out their Instagram, BIRL, and follow them so you can see what's up. Okay, so that was another thing announced. I feel like there was more, but maybe I was missing. Other companies, any drop any information on it? Anyone was there at EKC? What happened? Let me know. I think I'm missing one, but here's another one coming from Kendama USA. It was announced 4 days ago. Not sure if they really talked about it during. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. I'm so excited that I got it. The origins. Like, you know, I feel like every time I should get a Dama of the company that I'm talking about. The origins. They are not talking about making kendamas, but they're making herbs. You guys, did you see the video? Did you see the ad within the EKC live stream? Eric has made herbs, oregano, special spices, oregano. He did a quick live stream. I chatted with him a little bit about it. He was laughing because everyone in that chat was just saying like, yo, get me some of that. Is that illegal? Like, can I get it sent to me overseas? Like, always just saying like it's some sort of like drug. And yeah, it's not. He's just laughing. He's like, this one is not. No, this is actual. It is real herb spices for your food. So I'm not sure of the availability of this, when you can get it. I didn't do any research on his website specifically to see. I just saw it on the stream, and it seems like, yeah, he has created or got together some sort of spice and herb for people who like to cook and want an extra little pizzazz, little shabam into their food. So really interesting thing. Soul kendamas, you know, had their push with coffee, connecting right there, making soul coffee, and something, you know, very different from what we would think a kendama brand or company would come out with. And here you go, Dorigins is releasing food, spices. All right, more stuff for your mouth. So who's next? You know, KROM back in the day did candies. You know, Sweets should be the one that's doing candies, and maybe they did, and I just totally forgot about it. But yeah, let me know in the chat. Do we want more food from the kendama companies? Things to put in our bodies, like flavorful stuff, be it drinks or food? 365, what a 365. I think, you know, they just had their stuff that I covered in last week's episode. Their grip style, their smooth Damas, their new prism Damas. Was it prism primary Damas? And then their socks and shirts. So I don't think that's changed. But yeah, that's what another point that was shown at the EKC. Glad I hit that one. Yes. All right, Kendama USA releasing another new model on the craft series. It looks like they're doing craft concepts. This is chapter 3. You guys remember chapter 1? I'll give you time to think. Also, it will give me time to go back and see, because I do not remember chapter 1. Chapter 2 was just like a week or 2 weeks ago, the Cascade mod that Lisa Komatsubara put together, focusing on a kendama that can juggle well. It's kind of just, focusing on how to juggle better. And this should be a better tool than your average kendama. So that was the first concept, yeah? No, that was the second concept. Concept chapter 1 is where? This is the quiz. Who knows? Come on, guys. Kendama spring edit. I'm going back. It's springtime. All right, we got some scarce collabs. What is it? This one? Is it this one? It's Queasy with the tech. Oh, is it this one? Restock of some craft jets. You guys. Yo, great vibes. So the question was, Kendama USA is releasing new concept series for the craft shop. Specific, different shape stuff. This is this new one that just came out, the Loon, or it's actually, no, it's not the Loon, because that's Lunatex. What was it called? Here it is. Luna, the Luna. Okay? Getting Spanish, or maybe Italian, or maybe French too. The Luna is chapter 3 on these craft concepts. Chapter 2 was the Cascade, the juggle focus mod. But what was the first one? The jet. Chris coming in, the jet. Oh man. Yo, Dan's in here. Dan, what do you think? Kendama USA, craft concepts. Chapter 3 is this new Luna. Chapter 2 was the Cascade. And I'm just trying to think, what was the first one? Was it the jet? It might have, you guys might be right. I'm scrolling back, Bircher Maple, craft jets, and maybe they just didn't specifically say that this is a concept when the jets came out, or did they? That was a while ago. Okay, I'm just gonna go Queasy. Yo, you should be the one to give me the most information. Queasy, what is chapter 1? Real news going down, real life stuff. Chapter 1 of the craft concepts. Chapter 3 is this Luna. Chapter 2 is the Cascade. How did the story start? We're seeing in the chat, Jet, Cascade, Luna, all I know for new shapes. Maybe they're going to hit us with a prequel. Jet was updated from the Nova. Yeah. Man, everyone, these shapes have just been changing every 6 months now. Before, man, I mean, we've been jamming the same kendama since 2000. No, what? When that was 2000? No, I want to say 2007 for some reason. Until yeah, that whatever. I forgot exactly when. Maybe no, 97, I think, when the JKA, or it could have been even before. I don't fucking know. Any case, I'm gonna keep on going. Oh, there it is. From Queasy, 3 chapters in craft so far, getting real facts right here on the weekly Dama News Live. The Jet was chapter 1, Cascade is chapter 2, Luna is chapter 3. All right, these are all great middle names for your children if you have any. Luna's here. Of course, where is it? It's going to be a focus on lunars. Now, most kendamas are focusing on lunars. I feel like that is the kendama trick that everybody wants to get down. When you get a new kendama, what does everybody do? They check the lunar balance. Like, oh, how is it sitting? Is it good? Is it too high? Oh, is there a booty hole? Oh, there's no booty hole. Okay. So that's what we focus on. But here it is pushed even more to the point. And I think it specifically says as well that, oh, did it not? or maybe there was a little video about it where they were saying like it's pretty much the jet, but with a thinner. I think Jacob Watts was talking about it somewhere. I don't know where now. I'm just thinking about. But it was a thinner sword. So the sword piece is thinner than the jet. So the jet's maybe a little thicker, but the fat, huge cups are there for scooping all of your ice cream. And it is focusing on getting those lunars down. 3 chapters so far in it. That's it. So here you go. You get to choose maple or birch. Now, if you guys haven't tried birch, I highly recommend it. Everyone's been focusing on maple, and maple's cool. It's a hardwood, but interestingly, it's softer, breaks in pretty nice. But birch, guys, if you've never tried it, it hits differently. So I really, really recommend, if you're thinking about it, go for birch. Ken only, natty complete. Wait, you thought Ken only? Yeah, powder clear complete. So you can choose, okay, that's the check mark. So you can choose which ones, there you go. You can choose if you want Ken only, or if you want natty complete, or if you want a powder clear complete. That's another one that hits a different side of our news program. What is powder, you might thinking? Confectionery sugar? I like sweet stuff. You pour it on the Dama. Hey, there you go. Is that Kendama USA's answer to Dao's oreganos, herbs? You know, make your Tama sweeter. No, it is actually clear, hand painted clear from Z Mags. This is one that he's been cooking up for a few years now. All right. Queasy's coming in, spitting the facts, everyone. He says the powder clear is a must try. It is super sticky. It's basically a cheat code, he says. Now, if you look on it, there is a definite like graininess to it. So I've had a few Tamas. I felt a few Tamas in the past, not the powder itself specifically, that have a certain kind of like grit to it, right? It's not like a grip tape or sandpaper, but there is a certain amount of like texture that you can feel. It's not a smooth surface that we're all used to, especially for like, I guess for everything, pretty much. There's a little extraness to it. And I remember, you know, Z-Mags sharing on his stories a long time ago, like last year, him prototyping and doing different variations and stuff. And you could really see he was taking like nice, like close shots, and you could see like how gritty it was. So it's a really different thing that is coming out, and really cool to see how that is Kendama USA's new kind of like handcrafted thing. Oh, G Vibes mentioning yes, the Terra Rage Quit also had that grit on it, and I think that was due to the sparkles that they had in there, the glitter. Yeah. So really interesting, really cool to see. I think in the past, Kendama USA released some of this powder clear as well, but it was just very small. It seemed like it went under the radar. Not so many people talking about it. I'm not sure exactly how many are made. If everything's hand done, bit my tongue just now. If everything's hand done, then maybe they're not making too much. But at the same time, all the crafts are hand done. You know, shout out Ryan. Yeah. So maybe a little bit of a high-end price tag for some people, but hey, save up, get one of these things, because anything that's handmade, for the most part, from all the stuff that I've touched handmade, and I'm sure Chewbacca takes it very seriously, as all the hand turners do, you can really focus in on getting different types of wood that are going to be the best kind of wood, which just make the overall quality, the feel of it, just a different level. Shapes could be the same, you know, they could take an old school Ozora shape and hand turn it with like nice prime wood pieces, and it'd probably be amazing. Probably be better than any Hundui guys coming out, you know, nowadays. Throwback to the Sweets Frost series too. What the Frost? I mean, Sweets had a bunch, you know, since they're very focused on their paint game for years, since the beginnings, right? And I'm sure that they had, I don't remember the Frost, but I'm sure they went through many iterations of different paints. What up, everyone? Thanks. We've got a bunch of people in here. So if you guys are joining just now, I only got a few more posts, some articles to talk about. And after that, I will be doing a Q&A that I do every week for Weekly Jama News. So use the question tool down there and I'll be answering all of your questions to the best of my knowledge, because that's how we wrap it up. Weekly Dama News, it's not just one-sided. Everyone's coming in, sharing facts and information. It's a place for all of us to congregate and learn and get nerdy even more about kendama. All right. So that was another new item. There's a few newer items before I get into the heavy stuff. Sulab, they got a new sink, Dama, a new friction clear, a new kind of paint too, new rubber paint. What is that called? Evolve Coat series. The Kawagoe model. A 62 ash Tama maple general series Ken. Crashable. Yeah, I love Sue. Sometimes he checks with me with English stuff and sometimes he doesn't. I think it's crushable is what he called it, but here it's crashable. I like both. I might prefer crashable over crushable. But it's a new one, and it specifically focuses in on this bell tower. This is a signature, a trademark, not trademark, a landmark within Kawagoe, this town that I live in, the town that Sue lives in, the town where Sulab is, Kawagoe City here in Saitama Prefecture. And this is the landmark. This is the symbol of Kawagoe. This old school bell tower that's been there for years, hundreds. I think last year the city just celebrated 100 years as a city. So this one's focusing on that. So there's a little cool motif on that coming in, and in an ash Tama. Really cool. So the Ken is just the general Ken, the new Ken. It's not like general, like as it's just general. The name of their Ken is general. So that's really dope. That's out there now. And one that, oh my gosh. Now Snarkle has been putting up a bunch of different types of Tamas. Just for EKC, they made special windmill Tamas that looked pretty funny. And, Yasu even did a little, he should have done a windmill, but he did a whirlwind on one. And all those things, like, they look cool. Like, I guess, there was the Las Vegas one. It's like a pig with like a jester hat on. And it's like, there's a lot of pigs and animals, like, a little too cute for me, but hey, everyone's got their own type of jams. This one was one that I was like, that is awesome. This is amazing. This takes it outside of the box so much. It's not just a sphere. It's not a thing that looks like an animal that just you add some eyes on it and stuff. This is like a piece of art. As well as, come on, there's like 2 spikes to it, pretty much. There's a bottom spike and a frontal spike. Or no, there's 3 holes. Oh shit. So there's 3 holes on this bad boy. Amazing. So cool to see. Looks like full resin. It's like semi see-through and stuff. They outdid themselves with this one. So that was another thing I want to talk about. And yeah, that's happening, a special prize just for the California Kendama Cup. A new event that is getting put together by AJ from Quad Kendamas over in California. If you are in that area, think you want to look into it, they have an account called California Kendama Cup. Go check it out, get the information of when it's going down, when it's happening. Does it even say right here really quickly? No, it doesn't. You can check it out. Check it out. I'm sure this is going to be one of the prizes. So that, and I think that's all of them. So on to our final topic, everyone. This is a question that people had during the last weekly Dama News. People stating that, hey, do you know what's up with the KROM website? It's been down for a while. And I was like, well, I didn't know. I checked the website, and yes, it was down, under construction. Some people were mentioning that it's been a few months since it's been out of commission, out of order and whatnot. And here we finally get our answer. So KROM, the company, has gone bankrupt, out of business. Amazing to think, scary almost to think, because even me, I say, kendama, I see, for company-wise, there's the big 3. We got Kendama USA, Sweets Kendamas, and KROM. These were the kendama companies, the brands that started early on at the very beginning of this whole escapade that we're on, movement, I should say. And they were the ones that kept it going, that stayed strong, that made the right decisions to help them continue to grow. And here we see now that KROM, something happens. Now, people who are not connected with KROM and the inner workings of KROM or any of the companies, we really don't know what's going on. I'm sure there's a lot of people who see these companies as massive brands, that there's probably like 100 people working there, right, doing all the stuff, where in reality, it's really a skeleton crew. It's a small amount, handful of people who are doing it. I think like Sweets themselves only has about like maybe 20 people, and that's a lot. And even with that, you know, they have to watch out how they're spending their money because they're doing so much. And that's why it's super important to support the brands, to go to events, to buy Damas, to do different things in different ways to help them continue. And we see sad news, I'm sure, for everyone to see that, yeah, KROM Kendama has gone bankrupt. But there's a but, all right? That was just the company that was had owned KROM, the brand. Okay, so what happened was that company has bankrupt, filed, pretty much under, and will not be coming back. But what has surged from that are people who want to keep the brand going, who want to see KROM Kendama specifically, continue on as a brand. And there are people who did pick up the torch and pretty much buy the brand and will be continuing with it. So it's going to be a change of who's in charge. It's going to be a change of some of the things that we'll be seeing maybe even come out. Specifically, personally, I'm not even sure of who exactly is now in those head seats. But any case, excited, happy for this new chapter, you know, going back to the whole cascade type stuff or craft. New chapter in the book of KROM Kendama. There have been, you know, company owners in the past that first started out that have left, and now it's happening again. But, you know, it kept on thriving even after that first chapter finished. And now we're on to just like the crafts again. I feel like, looking on the outside, it feels like chapter 3 for KROM Kendama. So they are now getting in the process of creating new stuff. Already in it, you know, KROM was in last year, you know, head to head. There was release wars with Sweets, I call it, where every week they were releasing new Damas. KROM has also pushed out a lot of crazy ass Damas that no other brand would, you know, kind of think about doing because maybe it wouldn't be so profitable. And maybe looking back on what has happened, maybe that was the case. But still, it was amazing to see them push it and do a lot of cool things. And even to see them like kind of, even if they were to like fizzle out, it would be super sad, but it would be like, man, look at all the shit that they gave us, right? There, you know, you listen to the Dominers episode, this past one that happened, me and Rod talking with Tokyo, we go into the history and like how stuff was made. And, you know, we go into the Sleigh Dog. The Sleigh Dog was the one kendama that broke the molds that in the mainstream of kendama, because there's other ones that, you know, Mugen Muso was doing bigger kendamas back in the day, bigger cups, booty holes, you know, but nobody caught on. It was too advanced for the time. And the Sleigh Dog was the first one to come out and be like, yes, this is a thing. This is a movement. And all the other companies were like, all right, we need to get on this, boosting sizes and whatnot. So it would be ridiculous. It would be, we would all be at a loss. I'm at a loss for words, if you can't tell. We would be at a loss if KROM went down. So I'm super happy that KROM is still going to be with us, still going to be bringing us amazing things, still hopefully, and I'm sure, making kendamas and keeping them funky. Because personally, that's always how I saw KROM. That's all I gotta say about that. That's it for this episode. for weekly Dama news. Now it's time for the Q&A. Q&A. We got 2 questions in there. If anyone else is hanging out, who has a question, wants to ask me something, use that Q&A tool, the question tool right down there, and we'll be hitting some questions. Okay, and they're both about KROM. So the first one from EC Dama, what's your opinion, insight on KROM new news? KROM, glad that they're still with us. Glad that they'll be continuing on. Glad that someone has picked up the torch and we'll be seeing more Damas coming out with the KROM label. Glad that all the players who are sponsored by KROM still have a home, you know? Next question, the last one, if no one else pops in a question. XR saying, what company owned KROM that went out of business? So this is something that, yeah, was not specifically mentioned. It reads exacts, what happened during the last few months. The company that used to own the brand KROM went out of business. So every company, if anyone tries to start a company, it's like you need to have like a name and stuff. So maybe the name of the company could be different from the name of the brand or the products. But most people in the consumer world know the brand as the brand name or the product name, right? Just like we all call Kleenex, but maybe is that the brand name? Or wait, is that the product name? Rollerblades, it's like, wait, they're actually inline skates, but we all call them rollerblades now because this one product was so massive. But is it the company name? Or maybe the company name is like outdoor fun times. So here, I'm actually not sure. I didn't do any deep diving. There might be like public documents that people can find online if you can read Danish and Denmark and all on websites over there. I'm sure that's all public domain to get that information, but I don't know the company who had KROM. So it's like, here's the company, they made KROM. So KROM, it can go somewhere else if somebody picks it up. If nobody picks it up, then it would just be gone with the company. So I'm not sure what it is, but I definitely know that it was connected to TK, to Tokyo. So that is one person that maybe we won't be seeing. Maybe you had some questions. Maybe people go like, oh, EKC happened. But, you know, I'm following Tokyo too because he's such an awesome dude. And he wasn't he wasn't there. He's out like munching on like protein bars and climbing on rocks. Now you know why. Bam, bam. Hey, Andy Dama. We hit it. BIRL subculture. Yes. Just to get it back into everyone's minds. BIRL. It's going to be a thing. More information. I'm going to be going deep diving, talking with Brett, and releasing something cool over on the YouTube channel, the Kendertainment YouTube channel. So be on the lookout. Oh, another one. Okay, what do you think about the full-length video thing? Yeah, the BIRL. It's amazing. I think it's cool. Me growing up in a generation without the internet and growing up buying VHS skating tapes. I was a skateboarder. I guess I kind of still am, but nothing to what I was when I was a teenager. We had magazines as media to see what's happening in the world of skateboarding, and we had VHS videos, you know, then creeped over into DVDs and whatnot, but we still had to buy all these things, everyone. We could go to our local skate shop and just sit down and watch whatever they had playing, but sometimes you want to watch that shit over and over and over again. Now we're lucky that we have YouTube, and it just has kind of turned into the norm where every company is just releasing all this stuff for free. But at the same time, that used to be a way that the companies could be supported. The way that they could create some revenue, some profit to keep the company going. This is something I see Sweets has done in a different way that is now more of this generation by doing Twitch. Makes sense. How can they create more some funding to keep their company going and helping out by giving back to the community? Twitch was an awesome answer. And one thing that I've personally been thinking about, I'm like, should I start a Twitch? Should I do this stuff on Twitch? But I don't know. Maybe I'm still too much of an old dude, or I need Cody. I need a few lessons from the Griswold to figure it out. But that's how I grew up. So I feel this is such a cool thing, especially the fact that it's coming from another dude, and I'm not sure how old Brett is, but I'm guessing he's around my age, feeling the same vibes of you support the players. So he is his own entity. He created BIRL, and he's collecting people, and he's organizing this whole thing to create a video that everyone's going to be excited about and willing to pay, because we know who's this going in pockets they're going into. The people of who you're seeing. You're supporting them almost pretty much directly, as well as the guy who is putting it all together. So another thing that we can do to, see kendama reach a different perspective within what we already have. So I'm excited for it. Very excited for it. Next question, Nick, can't lace, but can you? What company could you see breaking out this year? Ooh, hey, I'm getting deep on the Q&A for Weekly Dama News. What company would I see breaking out this year? I mean, I would say Soul, but for some people, they've already seen them as a company that has broken out. But, there's still a few of those brands that are kind of just on the cusp of becoming bigger, and for whatever reason, they personally, I don't see them as like massive, like again, like the big three. GT is one of those companies. Soul is one of those companies. Deal With It is one of those companies. Terra is one of those companies. But there's a bunch that are, even, at least in my mind, not ranking like specifically like who's better, just like how I see it in my mind. You've got a bunch of other companies out there. You got Lotus, you have New Laced, you have No Jumper who's trying their stuff. You got The Origins, you got Handplay, these smaller companies, brands, Quad, who are doing a lot of things. Kendama Europe, almost forgot about them. I would put them on the that second tier list because they've been grinding and doing it for such a long time. Hey, who knows? Maybe Yamagata Kobo will come back out and release something that is groundbreaking. But we don't know, man. That's a real tough one. Soul's been up there and I guess for a while. So if we're going down to like tier 3 under brands, man, I would hope. I don't know. It's too deep, Nick, can't lace. Too deep. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say I want some more love for the Euro homies. So I would say one of the brands in the UK, in the EU, either a Handplant or maybe the Origins. There's a lot of companies out there who are releasing really, really, really cool stuff. Perspective. You got that whole new community thing that's happening with Kendama Hand Turners Collective, the KHC. If you don't know about it, go check it out. They're going to be releasing something in the future. I'm not so sure about, but something to keep our eye on. And that's the news. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me for this one. It's been a good one. And hey, if you're jumping in just now and you're like, oh, I missed the whole shit. No, you didn't. Well, I mean, yes, you did, but you didn't, because I'll be leaving this up as an archived video you can watch here on IG, or hey, better yet, later on in the week, I will be posting this up as a podcast. So search Kendama Weekly Dama News wherever you get your podcast. You'll see it come up. Go subscribe there. Leave a review, rating. That helps out tremendously. Or you can watch this whole thing in video form if you'd like over on YouTube. Again, it's its own separate from Kendertainment channel. It's the Weekly Dama News channel where you can easily scroll through the timeline and see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about all that stuff. A lot easier because you can't do that at all in Instagram. They don't want playback a lot. They just want to keep your eyes on it for whatever single reason. But YouTube is a different story. So in any case, that's it for this one. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Weekly Dama News. I'm MJ. See you next week. Keep it clean.